Well, welcome back, Biggie Outdoor Radio with Brandon and Biggie here. Oh, that sound. Our signature sound. Hey, Brandon, we've been spending a little bit of time this week doing some working out down at Snap Fitness.
How you doing, by the way?
I'm a little bit sore.
Yeah.
That workout regime that you guys got me on down there, I don't know.
Well, maybe next week we can put some weights on that bar for you.
Yeah, that might actually help. But what I look forward to is headed on down to Bruise Brothers afterwards and having a burger and some homemade fries afterwards and putting the weight right back on.
I just look forward to the beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know how many folks. I've been around town and I've been talking to a lot of people that haven't even been out to Weston and figured out where Bruise Brothers is yet.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of folks. They haven't. If you haven't been out there,
get there.
Need to get out there and check that place out.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely the best burgers in town, and I've eaten at a lot of them.
Oh, and they got a lot of beer to choose from too.
35 different brews on tap.
Yeah.
So. All right. We were talking about laws out there that people are passing and not making laws based on worrying about what people are going to do illegally and legally and things like that. There's a lot of things that we can do in the state of Wisconsin that you can't do in other states. You can shine here. You can shine as long as you don't have a weapon in the vehicle.
And in certain times of the year too, there's hours. You can't shine past 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's, in some states you can't shine at all. Shine at all, you get caught. But they still sell spotlights in them states. I can't understand that. What's it for? Why would you sell a spotlight if you can't shine?
Well, I would imagine that, people are able to use them for, on their own personal property protection-wise. Say you have a ranch and you're checking fence lines, or whatever. There's more reasons for using a spotlight than for just shining game.
Oh.
But,
yeah, I guess you could say that.
The fact that you're surprised by that actually makes me wonder if you're not the kind of guy that they're trying to keep from shining.
I'm just wondering. I don't shine anymore. When I was a kid, when I was younger, we used to go out and shine deer all the time, ride around with Dad in the car and look at the deer and count them. Yeah. There aren't any deer to count much around here anymore.
It's because you shot them all.
No.
Yeah. So.
No. There's not, like I said, there's not hardly any deer around here to shoot anymore. The quotas are so high, they're shooting all the deer off.
Well, that's just it too. Is anybody can look around and tell that the deer numbers are dropping and.
Nope. Not according to the DNR. They can't tell.
Well, that's just it. The DNR, they say a lot of things that.
2, 5, 10, 12.
Yeah, I think when they count, they're multiplying every time. Yeah.
I don't know where they went to school, but that's not how I learned to count.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I guess these quotas. They say they changed the quota. They had this big article that was online. They changed the quota in Wisconsin now. For does. They dropped it down drastically and.
No, they didn't.
And yeah, it was, what is it, 15,000?
That's all they dropped at 15,000 for the whole state. They only went down from like 239,000 down to 224,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
for the whole state, and they actually lowered the amount of buck only units.
Yeah, we went from 19 or something like that last
13.
Year to 13. Yeah,
13.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know where they think these are all going to come from, and they keep finding CWD everywhere. They got CWD now in Michigan.
Yeah, I seen they had that. They came across it. I guess they say that they find this stuff, and I don't know. That's an interesting topic because
I don't know. There's CWD everywhere. First of all, in my opinion, CWD is in every animal.
Yeah.
Or they have the potential of carrying it. And it's just like we all have the potential of carrying cancer or a lot of other diseases. It's just a matter of when your cells are going to turn positive.
Yep.
Same thing with the deer and the CWD.
Yep.
So, they've had this in Colorado since, before we ever even heard of it up here in Wisconsin. And they've had CWD, and they've been talking about it to the point that they don't even mess with it anymore. They don't even care.
This CWD is not something that just came out of the blue because of anything that we're doing to the animals or anything we're doing to their environment.
They try to blame it on high fence operations and deer farmers. That doe that they found it in Michigan was in a suburb someplace.
Yeah. The thing is this stuff has probably been around for longer than we've been able to detect it.
Yeah, it used to be called winter kill.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, it's not. It's just one of them deals that I don't know. You're going to get a lot of arguments on it both ways, but what have I always said back in when was it, the early 2000s when we were doing pure adrenaline videos?
Yeah.
I said, if you see a deer and it looks sick, don't eat it.
Yeah, it's
End
simple
of
as that. Simple as that. Yeah.
And
it's
Mother Nature is going to clean itself up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is,
It's like all these other, diseases, this, what is it, blue tongue and, all these other viruses that go through a herd. It's just like us getting H1N1 and getting cancer, like you talked about, and all these different viruses. Ebola.
Yeah, what was Ebola?
Yeah.
The Ebola was
We're cleaning ourselves out.
a human CWD almost, There's diseases that we're all going to be able to get, the flus and the different diseases, and it's like, yeah, I know it's, they just overplay it and they over worry about it, and it's, like I said, it's Mother Nature's way of cleaning things out, thinning it down.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but anyhow, and now they got borders closed all over the place because, you like they used to be able to transfer deer, the deer breeders and the deer farmers for those fence ranches could bring deer into the state of Florida. Can't bring them into Texas.
Yeah, Texas, Florida. There's quite a few of them states.
And now because of the way things are going, the state of Wisconsin is becoming more and more restricted on where they can and can't sell their deer. So it's hurting our farmers.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, Michigan's one of them states too, isn't it?
Michigan won't let anybody from Wisconsin ship a deer in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Now
is
they're not so perfect either because now they have a deer.
Yeah.
And theirs is one of their suburbites.
Yeah. Well, you think about, there's there's so many different businesses and stuff in the hunting industry. Well, you think about people who made their living, growing deer in Wisconsin and shipping them down to Texas or down to Florida or whatever, to help boost their herds and get different genetics, big buck genetics, into these herds, whether it was in a ranch or, however that goes.
Think about how much was learned about deer in general just from deer farmers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Half of these biologists and these game wardens and that, they wouldn't know a squat about deer if it wasn't for the deer farmers. They learned, these deer farmers are the ones that figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know anything about deer.
Well, if you were making good money before moving deer down to Florida, think how much you could make on a deer now, not that the border's closed, if you get it across.
Don't say that on the air. Lord.
I am not telling anybody to do anything. I'm just saying, hey, yeah.
If you could put them in a dog kennel and put them in your motorhome.
Well, so much for that idea.
Big money. Or U-Haul or whatever. Yeah, it's just those are laws, Again, it's always got to put laws on everything.
Well, the government wants to have a say in absolutely everything
it's
that
all
we
about
do.
Money.
They're going to put a law on breathing. Oh, you took too many breaths today. Slow it down tomorrow.
Don't even mention that because that'll be the next thing. There'll be a breath tax, for gosh sake. We'll have breath meters on us.
Yeah, we'll be buying air and. Oh man,
that'll be the next thing.
I got to slow her down here. You get going, and I almost want to swear.
Don't say.
Yeah.
Don't even say the word swear. That could be against our policy here. I think we got beeped twice last week.
We did. I counted. Yeah. Yeah. One of them I know we caught on the show. And
Ben, are you giving us the finger, or was that 2 fingers? 2. We got 2 minutes left.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We should probably get Ben in on some of these conversations over here. He's always got
a lot
Good thing he's not hitting his vapor bong over here today. What's up with that? You give that up?
Oh, I think he ran out of juice. He said he ran out of juice. He has to stop down by the vapor lounge.
Yeah.
Broke.
Broke.
Oh man.
Broke. In other words, he's hinting that we don't pay him enough. It's because we don't pay him anything. That's the thing.
Yeah. You know what? On second thought, you don't pay me anything either. What am I doing here?
Well, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Times are tough. We'll see how things go in the radio world. So, well, I'm going on a hunt this next weekend, and I really think that you should call in sick.
Well, we'll see what I can do. I got a lot of off days coming up where I'm gonna,
Yeah.
the wedding and the honeymoon, but I guess if I burn my personal,
Are you
holiday-
actually going to go through with this wedding?
Yeah, I think I have to now.
Well, you don't have to do anything. You can change your mind right up until the last day.
Yeah.
I had that option.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't back out.
No, I'm not either.
I'm glad I didn't.
No. She's my hairstylist, so I don't know what exactly I would do. If I don't get married to her, who's going to cut my hair?
There's a zillion haircutters around here.
I know she's the best one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
That's how you met her,
Yep. That's right.
I'm not going to toot my own horn, but
yeah,
I did introduce her to you.
that's right.
She cut my hair first.
Way to go.
I picked this one out for you.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah, good deal. Better than some of the things I've seen you date, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't we have a commercial coming up here?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah,
I think
alrighty.
we should probably take a break on that, no? Welcome back to Biggie Outdoor Radio. For those of you just joining us, Brandon and I have been talking about hog hunting in the South.
Yeah.
There's good hog hunting in a lot of different places. We do have some places that if you're interested in going after some hogs, you could do that down here in Iowa.
Yeah.
Just south of us here down by Prairie du Chien at Scenic View Ranch. All you got to do is give us a call or check out BiggieOutfitters.com. We'll be glad to point you in the right direction, and you can get some good hog hunting. And that's always good to eat. Wild boar is good to eat too.
It is. Yep.
It's a little bit more lean, a little better for you than some of the processed stuff that you run into in the stores. Yeah. But
and this hog hunting is actually inexpensive enough. It's something you can definitely afford to take your whole family on.
Oh sure, yeah. Take the kids out there and good target practice.
Yeah.
Let them spend a few rounds. If they shoot like you, let them spend a box of rounds.
Listen, man, that was well over 10 years ago.
Well, whatever, If we had them 10 rounds today, they'd be worth a lot more money.
Yeah, that's right. You did train me to shoot with a 22.
Yep. When you don't have to just hunt hogs in the South either. I know a lot of people think about going down south and they think hogs or gators.
The South gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because pretty much everybody knows that whitetail is king in the hunting industry. And when you think of whitetails, you automatically think up north. You think Michigan and Illinois and Wisconsin.
Yep. And Ohio. Ohio is.
Ohio, yeah. But really, there is some pretty good opportunities for hunting whitetail, down south. I mean, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. I mean, you get it down into, some of them hills and them swamps and, whatever they got down there. They've got some big old bucks that bed up down there.
You have to look at the trophy for where the trophy grows, too. You have to look at the fact that, if you're a whitetail hunter, it's kind of like turkey hunting. You travel around the world and you hunt turkeys in different places so that you can say, hey, I hunted this turkey here, I hunted this turkey here, I hunted,
Yeah.
And the same thing with whitetail. I mean, if you're really a true connoisseur or whatever, somebody that really likes to hunt whitetail, would you like me to spell that one for you?
No, we're just keep on rolling, man.
You're good with that?
I'm already beyond that word.
If you really like hunting whitetail, then you might want to go and check out some of these other states. And I'll tell you that Georgia, South Georgia, has some big whitetail.
Yeah, you've got one from down there.
I do.
Yeah.
I got a couple of them from down there. Some of them were shot during the day. But No, I'm just kidding. But when I was in the military, I shot some pretty good sized deer down in Georgia. And I can tell you that the place that I was just at down there, Gum Log Plantation, has some big deer on it. Now, when I say big deer, you got to take into consideration that this is Georgia that I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about 200 inches, but I'm talking like heavy horn, wide, 160, 170 inch deer.
Yeah.
Which is a big deer.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
care.
that's just it. I mean, you know, if you're a good hunter, I mean, you learn to appreciate a trophy for whatever region you're hunting in. You know,
Right.
in Wisconsin, you know, you shoot a 180, a 190, you know, you've done something pretty good. You know, you get down to South Carolina and Georgia, I mean, you break 150, 160, and you're doing pretty good down there.
Yeah. Well, South Carolina, you're looking at, 140, 145 inch deer is a big deer there.
Yeah, you hit 150, 160 in South Carolina, and that's you done really good.
Yeah. But in Georgia, this place down there, they've got good deer now. And then a lot of people think that you can't grow big deer in Florida. And I'll tell you right now, there are places in Florida that have big deer, and they do things a little bit different with the way they fence things in Florida. They can fence their land, and then the deer that are in there are native Florida deer, and they just feed them well and grow them.
Huh.
So you can get some native Florida deer that are pushing 180 and 200 inches. And then, of course, you get the places like Cypress Ridge down there by Orlando. Guy can go down there and hunt himself a monster deer,
Oh, sure.
take his family to Disney World, hunt some hogs, hunt some Osceola turkeys if he wants to at the right time of the year.
They do hunts at Disney World now?
No, but they're right close to Disney World.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If they did, we'd go to Animal Kingdom. You could hunt everything there.
Oh, man, there we go. Yeah, an African safari right there in Florida.
I don't think they'd appreciate that.
No, we'd probably make the news, though.
Yeah, I know. I know we'd make the news.
Free cameraman.
Yeah. Yeah, the news guy. But if you could, wanted to take your family down there and you wanted to squeeze in a hunt, if you're like me, who, a half a day on the beach and I'm done, and the wife wants to walk along with her bare feet and dig up seashells and lay there and sip pina coladas and whatever else wives do on the beach, soak up the sun, which in my cowboy boots and jeans I'm not into. I'm the kind of guy that'd be like, hey, why don't you go ahead and lay here, and I'm just going to go up and grab a beer, and then I jump in the truck and head on over to Cypress Ridge and quick squeeze in a deer hunt, get myself a nice 200-inch buck, and then slip back.
And you're back before sunset.
And the wife would not even know that I was hunting.
There you go.
Now that would be my idea of a family vacation.
Only now she's watching for it because you just admitted your plan.
Do you think that she actually listens to the radio show?
I'm going to tell her to listen.
No, don't.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell her.
You throw me under the bus, I'll throw you under the bus.
Say, hey, you want a heads up for your next trip to Florida? You better tune in this Sunday.
I don't think you better be doing that.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing for folks that are up here. We had such a short deer season anyway, and a lot of guys are looking to get out of the cold weather. So if you're looking for someplace to go and it's a little bit warmer, look at those places in the south. Check out our online options. Go down there and check them out. All those places that we advertise hog hunting, they have whitetail down there. Alabama, we got Alabama whitetail hunts. We got Texas whitetail hunts. And we've got whitetail in Montana and Wyoming as well. But, yeah. Kansas. There's some good ones there, too. But these other places are warmer. And you can also go down to our buddy down there at Ross Hammock Ranch, which they have whitetail, but they've got everything else you can think of. Water buffalo, gators. Ross Hammock is doing nuisance gator hunts too now. Did you know that?
I was just going to say, a lot of the talk about these ranches and destinations in Florida is really, man, I want to go back down there after another gator.
What do you mean another gator? You got a decent gator. You're not shooting any more gators.
Oh, yeah, I want another. Yeah, well,
No.
That's a fun hunt, though. It really is. It is a fun hunt.
Yeah, we did it with crossbow.
Yep, there we go, yeah.
And you picked up the local twang while you were down there. Remember that on the TV show?
You know, I don't know why it takes me about a half of a day to pick up an accent.
Half a day. You pick it up in like a half a sentence. As soon as somebody from the South talks to you, you start talking in Southern drawl. They're like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" You're like, "Hey, I'm doing all right. How about you?" And you start talking like that right away. And then you just sound funny when you do it. But maybe it's because you were born down there. Don't look at me like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, that's going to score me some points with Megan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just called you out. So, I think maybe we should plan a trip down to Florida here real soon, and we should go after some gators. And that's another thing. People think that, alligator hunting is expensive, but it is not. Alligator hunting, you can do a gator hunt for $2,500 to $3,500, and then you get to bring back the gator hide. You can have it mounted if you want to, or you can just have the hide tan and get yourself some gator boots, gator purse. Hey, you can get yourself a gator bed sheet made if you want to.
You sound like that movie 8 Seconds now. Yeah. Got my Lane Frost lunchbox, Lane Frost t-shirt.
And gator's also very good to eat.
It is, especially when it's cooked right.
Yeah, it tastes like chicken. You know what? Everything tastes like chicken.
Well, not everything.
Well, that's another thing. Let's do that. Let's have everybody go to our Facebook page and tell us all the things that they can think of that taste like chicken.
Yeah. Sandhill crane.
Hey, you can hunt sandhill crane in a lot of places.
Just not Wisconsin.
Why is it that we can't hunt anything? You can't hunt badger. In the state of Wisconsin, we can't hunt badgers, but every other state in the United States, you can hunt badgers. Mm-hmm. This is the only state they're protected in, and they're digging holes everywhere. You can hunt that doggone badger is a varmint every other place you go. Mm-hmm. But if you shoot it anywhere else and bring it back to the state of Wisconsin, you better have a tag.
Make sure you have a tag.
Make sure that tag is fastened to it. Other states, don't matter whether you got the tag on it or not. They don't care. It's a varmint. It's like a coon or anything else.
Yeah. Right. You know, another thing I want to know too is why in the heck does Wisconsin protect the sandhill crane?
I don't know.
Because they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And it goes down to Mexico and they mow them things down.
I want to go to Mexico.
They shoot cranes like they're going out of style down there.
Yeah.
And they don't really taste that good. They're full of pins. You know them long pins like you get in a turkey leg?
Oh, sure, yeah.
They're all over in them sandhill cranes.
Have you actually eaten sandhill crane?
I did.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I did. Not around here, of course. But I've eaten sandhill crane.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we better be wrapping it up here.
Well, we got a few seconds left.
Well, fine.
We got 30 seconds left. You don't wrap things up. I wrap things up.
Way to make me look... I shouldn't say incredible, even though I am.
You are incredible.
But,
I noticed you dressed up and shaved good for the radio show.
Yeah, I got my T-shirt with the hole in it.
You got your radio face on.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, wrap it up.
No, I don't want to, no.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after these messages. Well, we're back. Big E Outdoor Radio with Brandon and Big E. There you go.
I actually forgot that the last few times, so.
That's all right. Better do it twice then. We were talking about whitetail in the south. Now let's talk about whitetail up north.
Yeah, we got them up here too. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of that. And we'll see you next week. Okay. Whitetail up north are quite a bit bigger. And people like to come up north from the south looking for the big monster whitetail. We have the body mass and the horn growth. Now, if you get too far up north, you get big body mass, and you get like a heavier horn, but you don't get as big a horns.
You get a more massive antler, but a lot of times the length ain't going to be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the thick brush that they have to go through. It seems like the whitetail adapt to the environment that they're in. Their body mass, their horn, all that will adapt to wherever they're at.
You like talking about evolution and animals adapting to things, and I mean, what was it last week? You were talking about snakes that don't rattle, and Bigfoot is now invisible.
Speaking of that, have you seen the previews for that movie Zoo that's coming out?
Zoo.
It's called Zoo, where all the animals become not afraid of humans anymore, and they start attacking humans. The lions, they all evolve to a point where they decide to rebel against humans and come after them.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh.
You know, there's another radio show that I listen to on the way home from work in the mornings.
What is it called?
It's Bob and Tom. Yeah. You know, and quite a few years back, they talked about animals evolving and
Really?
And yeah, they were actually, their main topic was they were talking about them flying carp or them Asian carp down in the rivers. They're talking about animals getting back at humans. You actually sound just about as crazy as them guys now.
It could happen.
It could, yeah.
And then what?
Well, they were talking about squirrels were surveillance. You know, they were out there, you know, on the front lines. And
This is a movie, actually. It's called Zoo, I'm telling you. Just check it out. It's on TV. It looks like it's going to be a good one.
Huh.
It shows lions attacking people and dogs attacking people. And
dude, that happens. That all happens.
I know. I'm going to find that out firsthand here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're going over there after a lion.
This will be the Big E Outdoor Radio Show with Brandon.
And Big E's ashes.
And an urn full of Big E's ashes here on the table. So, you'll have to get a new co-host. Who are you going to pick?
Oh, man. You know, I haven't really thought a lot about that.
You should probably start thinking. You should probably start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you get to be in charge of what we're going to talk about. But anyway, where are some of your favorite places to hunt the elusive whitetail? Besides the woods.
Well, from where or where?
No, not from where, because I know you're going to say something smart like from the front seat of your truck. But
Oh, man. Well, that is the best way to stay warm during hunting season.
it is. I can get. Yeah, that's why I don't hunt anymore. I just sit in the truck and direct everybody.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that make good use out of hunting public land.
Yeah.
And I've had a little bit of luck on public land.
You did. You got a decent buck a couple years ago on public land.
Yep. So, in fact, he's right next to us here. He's,
there he is with your hydrographic dipping on him.
Dipped in camo, orange camo, yeah. But, you know, I've had a little bit of luck on public land, and that's probably what I'm going to do this year. I don't know that I'm going to do any rifle hunting or anything, but I'm going to go and try my luck bow hunting. You know, I've gotten a lot of stuff with a bow, but I realize I've only shot one deer with a bow, and that's a doe. I've never shot a buck with a bow. I've gotten quite a few bucks, but they're all with a rifle.
As a professional hunter, you shouldn't admit that in public.
Well, you know, it's...
but it's the truth.
It is the truth, that's right. You know, I've gotten a lot of stuff with the bow, just don't have time for the whitetail.
Huh. Well, I think that, you know, as far as what state would you say would you like to hunt? If you could choose anywhere you wanted to go hunting a whitetail right now, let's say, whether it be state, country, wherever, where would you want to go?
Illinois.
That's good. You know what? I actually was overlooking that. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, I would go to Illinois for whitetail. Now, if it was like
for any other reason, I'd like to stay away from Illinois. But.
Well, I'll tell you what. We got a friend that lives down there, Steve and Linda Dawson, and we got down in that area where they live down there in Carlinville, and there is some darn good-looking whitetail country down that way.
Yeah.
I mean, deer all over the place, and they were showing me some pictures. There's some nice bucks down there.
You didn't rattle on
No, that was a different buddy of mine that I took. So.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess if I had to pick rifle season in Wisconsin and take and spend it somewhere else other than Wisconsin, strictly just because we're overrun with so many people, and rifle season to me is not the way that it used to be. It's not what it used to be. I don't get as much of a kick out of rifle season anymore.
That's right.
I'd like to take and spend it in Wyoming, you know, go out there after a nice mule deer,
South Dakota, we can go.
Or South Dakota, absolutely, yeah. Yep. Go out there, and the thing is, you get down to the last day or two and you're not seeing the muleys, you can always take a nice whitetail because they got them out there too.
Yeah, and actually, their whitetail out there are probably a little nicer even than our whitetail.
They do, yeah, and a lot of people overlook that, but, Nebraska and South Dakota and, Wyoming, Montana, them states, they've got some darn good-looking whitetail out that way too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we talked a little bit last week about Michigan closing down their borders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not their borders, excuse me, but closing down their deer season.
Yeah.
And the ramifications that might have on our season here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of people from Michigan flooding over
Into the state.
into Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean they're going to want to come over, and they're going to be going to relatives' land, a lot of public land. I mean they want to get that whitetail. They want to fill their freezers up, and you'll probably. I mean they're not all going to just come to Wisconsin. Obviously, I mean Ohio is going to see more hunters from Michigan, Illinois.
But we're closer. I don't think it's the whole state of Michigan. I think it's just upper Michigan. But
okay.
But we're closer, so.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely, our local economies will definitely see a boom in that, I think. Especially if it's just the UP, you're going to see a lot of that up there in the Northwoods where, people are going to crawl over the border, and them little towns, they're full enough as it is already during rifle season, and you're going to see a lot more of it now this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a madhouse.
Is it just the UP or is it the whole state?
I think it's just the UP. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out on the Michigan Outdoor News, and I can't quite figure out if it's for sure yet, or if or what part of it is. But I know it's still in the works. You know that in Michigan you can own a suppressor, but you can't hunt with it. There's only like 2 states that you cannot hunt with a suppressor. Guess which ones they are besides Michigan? What's the other one you think?
Illinois?
Nope.
No? I don't know. I'm bad at guessing.
Oh, actually, Illinois is one too. There's 3, but Minnesota. No, you can hunt Wisconsin.
Huh. Yeah.
Minnesota. Illinois is in the process of passing legislation for you to be able to do it.
Huh. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't believe you can even own one in Michigan. Got to check. There's some goofy laws that have to do with Michigan, and then Minnesota and Illinois. You can't hunt with them, but Illinois is working on it. It's just the weirdest darn things you wouldn't think. I was surprised when Illinois passed the concealed carry law.
Yeah, but do they acknowledge concealed carry from other states?
No, not from anybody else.
No. Only in Illinois.
Yeah, you got to have.
Only in Illinois. Yep.
Yeah. It's this universal stuff is getting to be hard. I mean, it's like hunter safety.
Yeah.
Our hunter safety is no good in Alaska.
Oh, really? So what do you do for Alaska? You got to
go to
there.
Alaska. You have to go to some special classes, and their classes there. You have to learn how to track. You have to go through a tracking class and I mean, it's like a 3-day class you have to go to just to learn. You have to. It's a weird stuff that you have to do just to be able to get your hunting license in Alaska.
Yeah, remember that next time you plan on taking a hunting trip up north, up to Alaska.
Yep.
Account for them 3 days of goofing around before you can go hunting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got some friends that just were up there not too long ago and actually
got a nice bear.
Yeah,
nice bear.
Got a dandy bear.
Dave Erdman from Florida. Yeah.
Yep.
He's over in Africa now. I see.
He is. I'll probably do some overlapping with him while I'm over there. Maybe I'll run into him because he's going to be there for a couple months.
Yeah, he says he's going to be there till August at least.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be over there till August. If everything goes right, I'll make it back for your wedding. What would happen if I wouldn't make it back for your wedding?
You might as well stay there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Might as well stay there.
Really?
I mean, I understand. I mean, you got a hunt to do, but I know Megan would be pretty upset if her father-in-law wasn't at the wedding. Yeah. Yep. You could probably Skype in though.
I could Skype
you could,
in.
yeah.
I almost didn't come back for my own wedding. last year.
Which time?
No, last year.
Yeah.
Remember, I was going to have a stand-in. My brother looks enough like me. I was going to have him stand in.
Yeah. I remember for one of your weddings, we were actually.
Don't talk about my other wedding.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh yeah.
We shouldn't do that. That's it can get me in the doghouse. And
that's the only reason I said that. I wasn't going anywhere further with that. It's just.
I don't need any more trouble.
It's fun to do. It's fun to watch.
I know.
It's fun to watch you squirm.
I squirm.
Yeah. You're big and bad.
The last thing I need is any more trouble because she looks small.
Yeah.
But she carries a big stick.
Yeah. You're the king of the castle here right now, and then if she was to walk in, oh hey honey, oh yes dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You completely change your tune.
Yeah. And with that, let's just wrap it up.
All right.
We'll be right. Well, welcome back to Biggie Outdoor Radio with Brandon and Big E here in the studio. Hey, from time to time, I will have to go back to this topic, and you're going to have to get used to it because we're going to be picking up new viewers, and people are going to re-ask this question. But I actually had some Facebook messages and some people that emailed me, and they asked me the questions about the difference between our TV shows, Wide Open, and the Big E TV, Both Sides of the Fence, and what that means and how we got going and things like that. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here in this segment, and I'm going to go back and explain that to you just a little bit here. And Brandon and I got started in television back around 2000, somewhere in there. Brandon was about between 11, 12 years old, somewhere in there. We got started in the DVD series is what we were doing. We started filming just for the fun of it, and it was called Pure Adrenaline Outdoors, and that's how we got going. It was kind of fun, and one thing led to another. We got asked to do some videotaping and some representing on some high fence ranches, and of course at that time high fence ranching and high fence hunting was frowned upon even more highly than it is right now in the industry. And so we kind of steered away from it. But one thing led to another, and we did decide to try that out a little bit. We learned quite a bit about high fence hunting, and it opened up our eyes to some things. And that's where the TV show, Both Sides of the Fence, stemmed from. And we learned a lot about the reasons why people go and hunt on high fence places, the reasons that they choose to hunt all the different places that they do, and the controversial methods that they choose to hunt with. What we learned the most is how bad hunters attack each other and fight over all the different hunting methods that they choose, and how dangerous this is to our heritage. And so we started giving speeches and seminars at some of these hunting shows. And the seminar title is actually Both Sides of the Fence with Big E. The seminars are actually catching on quite a bit. And you can catch that if you can find us at some of the trade shows that we are now getting invited to due to our television show and our radio shows. And we share some of the experiences. We use the high fence hunting as a platform because we figure that if we can explain to you, using probably one of the most controversial methods of hunting, then you're going to understand a lot more on some of the other methods, like hunting with dogs, hunting bears with dogs, hunting doves, crossbow hunting versus regular bow hunting, using a compound bow versus a long bow, muzzleload hunting versus rifle hunting, hunting over bait, not hunting over bait. There's just, the list goes on, and you just have no idea where it stops. Spearing walleyes versus fishing for walleyes, spearing sturgeons. I mean, even in the fishing world, there's things like this. If you watch Facebook, we as hunters, we'll get attacked by anti-hunters, and the next thing you know, the hunters on that particular page are fighting amongst themselves over things. You know, some gal will get attacked for hunting a giraffe, and the next thing you know, hunters are fighting on there saying, well, I don't know why she's hunting a giraffe anyway. I have no use for hunting a giraffe. Well, just because you have no use for it does not mean that you should go on there and attack another hunter. Do you realize what you're doing? Okay, let me break it down for you and explain it to you in really, really simple terms, because I just cannot believe how obvious it is, but how much we as hunters just can't see this. If you take all of us hunters and figure that we're represented by 1,000 people, let's say there's 1,000 head, and we're all in a room, and the room is divided down the middle, and everyone's sitting in chairs, and half of the people in that room are pro high fence hunting, and the other half are not. And we decide to pass a law that day, and there happens to be one extra person on the non-high fence hunting side, and we vote against it, or there's enough anti-hunters that back that side up. We now ban it. Whatever people were in that side that could not or don't hunt anywhere else, perhaps because of disabilities, perhaps because of terminal illness, there could be a number of reasons. We lose some votes. We may not lose all of the people on that side of the room, but we're going to lose some. And that's all it takes for our number to just get smaller. Now, as it stands right now in the world, there's another room with exactly the same amount of anti-hunters in it. But if we allow them to keep breaking us down, our room keeps getting smaller. Do you see how simple this is, folks? What's happening is they're causing us to fight amongst ourselves. They fuel us. And in plain and simple terms, we are too stupid to see what's happening. We start fighting amongst ourselves because we choose not to take part in a simple activity. And so we start fighting, and we start condemning each other and saying, I don't want to fight. I don't want to hunt that particular way. So that way is no good. Let's get rid of that. Now we lost maybe 100 people, but we're down to 900 now, and they still have 1,000 because they're standing strong. So the next thing they go after is hunting with dogs. And let's say they decide that they're going to go after whatever they see us arguing the most about. So they're going to go after the bears. So they go after running bears. And out of that, they might take another 100 of us out. We're now down to 800. They're still standing at 1,000. It's not going to take long, and they're going to have us down to a small enough group that they can simply outvote us, whether it comes to hunting anything, owning guns. It doesn't matter. That is their goal. Now let me go back and explain to you why people hunt on high fences. I've had folks that have booked hunts with me at many of the destinations. We represent places that are high fence, no fence, low fence, not a fence around. Top of the mountain, bottom of the mountain, and in the swamps. It doesn't matter. We hunt all over the place. There's folks that have come to me and stood at my booth and booked hunts and talked to me about elk hunting, for instance. And they said, we'd like to go hunting elk. And I say, that's fine. I have elk in the mountains in Montana and Idaho. I have elk in South Dakota in the Badlands. I get 8 tags there a year. I can take you elk hunting on a number of different places. And I also have some very, very nice ranches in Wisconsin that I can take you hunting on. The difference is that if I take you in Wisconsin, that I can control the environment that you're hunting in and make sure that you're safe. There's somebody there with you all the time. You can bring a family member with you on the hunt. Plus, you're guaranteed that you're going to come home with your trophy, because we're not going to stop until you get your animal. And if you don't, you will come back for free. Now, if you go out west, you're not going to be able to come back for free, because at least you're going to have to rebuy a license, even if the outfitter is good enough to let you come back to his place for free, which does not happen very often. So I've had folks that have decided that that's why they wanted to. Now, let me tell you why. I had a fellow that was standing there booking a hunt with me that was over 90 years old. He was a World War II vet. He was one of the first men that landed on Normandy Beach. I believe that's what he had told me. But he was a World War II vet. He was very old. And he wanted to do a hunt with his grandson. Now, there's no way that these two people were equally compatible physically and were going to be able to go up into the mountains and hunt elk together. So they were going to come and hunt on a high fence ranch. And who are we to take that right away from them? On the exact same day, I had another little girl come to me, and she was with her dad, and she wanted to go elk hunting, and she was 10 years old, and they kept pointing at this big elk, and I kept trying to talk them into doing a management deer hunt or something like that. Before the conversation was over, this little girl cornered me off to the side of the booth and told me that the reason that she wanted to go and hunt this big elk was that she was dying. And the only animal that her dad didn't have on the wall right now, that he had plenty of deer, but he didn't have a big elk on the wall. And he had this big spot over the fireplace that he had been saving for an elk. And when she died, she wanted to know that that big elk on the wall was hers, and that every time that her daddy looked at it, that he was thinking about her. Now, there's no way that this girl had enough time to draw a tag or get out west and hunt an elk. But she could on a high fence ranch. So when people are so quick to condemn these high fence ranches, they don't think about other folks, and they don't think about the other reasons why people may need to, want to, or choose to hunt on these places. And one of my final arguments about this, you might say that you never will, and that's all well and fine. But what about the day that it isn't your choice? What about the day that you step outside and you get hit by a car, or an accident happens and you end up in a wheelchair, and that's the only way that you can hunt? What about if it's not you? What if it's your wife? What if it's your dad? Or somebody that you love very much? Are you going to tell those loved ones that they don't matter and that they don't deserve to go hunting anymore just because they're crippled or they ended up disabled, and you're just going to walk off and go in the woods and leave them sitting home? Or are you going to give them that opportunity and take them someplace hunting on a dream hunt? Now, this is just the argument about a high fence operation, and you can make an argument similar to this on all controversial hunting methods. So this is what we're all about at Biggie Outdoors. We're about opening up our eyes, making hunters stick together and say, hey, look, I might not choose to hunt the way that you're hunting, but I'm going to stand with you and back up your rights. You stand with me and back up mine. That's what we're all about, and we will be talking about this more in the future, and we'll be right back. Biggie Outdoor Radio.